Hi everyone, it's Kev from my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another video on my channel. And today's video will be previewing our Thursday night clash against Fremantle Dockers. If you are a Team Kev Magpies, welcome, like, comment, share. If you're new to the channel, watch this for the first time, like, comment, share and subscribe. Now, this is clearly the matchup for me that I think that's going to be interesting. We're coming off a 5-day break where Fremantle had probably one less day break than us. And so they're coming off a 6-day break, obviously, considering they played on the Friday night. So it's not really like a week compared to us that would have been basically on a Saturday night. So we are probably being restricted on that. We are deliberately just managing our senior plays like dependables, like you might check as well, and Maynard. So I still think that's smart from the way that we've been doing that as well. I think that's very important that we do. I think for me, and I will be streaming this game, so I can't wait for it at Optus Stadium, is that Fremantle are so far up and down team. They're not the best team when it comes to scoring. The highest that they have scored was 108, and I mean anyone can score 108 against Richmond. I mean that's bloody obvious, really. But the lowest that they've been getting is like not your 85 in a way, but like you're not. Pretty much like your 33s, your 85. So they're more like of a defensive team where they like to play slow. They don't like to score fast. They're a team that will try and hold you up, and it does become on them as well. They want to try and restrict opposition teams to less than 85 points. I know we've been doing that as well, but our scoring has been very attacking. The highest that we've scored was 109. That was against the Swans. And since then, like, we've been good in that. We definitely have. I do want to go back to round one where we played Port Adelaide when we scored 136. So we're actually scoring really well, and that's probably the way that we go about it, on top of it. So I think we've done really well in that aspect of what we need to do. We need to attack, definitely. We need to make the game faster. We can't afford to really slow down the way that these teams want to play. But if we can just come out and play with the intensity of playing really good football and really make sure that we just attack the corridor and just hold Fremantle up. We know that Jackson and Darcy are number one, number two ruckman. So one will go forward. You think that would be Jackson and Darcy in the ruck. We know that Jackson is one of the premium rucks in the competition. But I am confident enough that we can try to attack him as much as we possibly can. Now, also, Jordan Goey has been managed as well, so I think it's good for just to rest him up. I know, like, you're playing off a 5-day break, he could potentially break down, especially with these injury forms. So I think it's actually smart that we actually do that. And it really shows on what we're capable of as well. But I want to go through the stats because I think it's very important that we go through the team stats as well. And I think for everybody to know this, this is what we're good at. It's simple as that. Now, we've won 4 of the last 5. Fremantle won 3 of the last 5. So they're a very inconsistent team. They're good at home. I know they've lost, I think, a game in Perth, I would say, that they did lose. They certainly were very inconsistent. They got smacked by the Cats in round 1 at GMHBA Stadium. And when they played the Swans as well, they only lost. And they were very defensive that particular game as well. since then they've really got a run on, and they scored 106 against the Eagles, which you can't take away anything about that. I mean, that's just clearly on, you're playing West Coast, mate. Like, that shows no form. Yes, it's a derby for them, and I understand all that, but West Coast aren't really a team that going to play finals. You play against the Western Bulldogs, who played in finals. Okay, you give them that tick, because that actually counts. But then when you look at Fremantle, they play Richmond, and mate, Richmond aren't a final team. Richmond is a rebuilding team. It's simple as that. Adelaide, they're a bit of an up and down team as well. No, they won by 18 points. It's very like a less scrappy game. Think from memory in that. 12-13, 9-13. So both teams kicked in accurately. They did what they have to do. And obviously they got smacked by the Saints, who are very defensive themselves but can attack and can really open up. And they nearly scored 100 points. So to me, like, this Fremantle team is so inconsistent because you don't know what you're going to get out of it. Look, the average points for is 91.9 compared to 82.5. So that's clearly, for me, is that they can score, but they want to be roughly about your 82 points, 82.5 points a game. And that's all. They don't want to have a high scoring game. They've only had a couple of games and they've scored high, but that's about it. They're roughly, is very poor. Their points against is 84.9, and ours is 69.0. So again, this is very interesting where we're conceding less. Our average age is 25 to 23, but we're 106 average games to 71. 189 centimetres, which is the average height. This is where I think that we can get them as well. 361 disposals to 343. 209 kicks, 191. 152 handballs apiece. So we can get a game going as well. Fremantle can handball as well, but they're not like a team that can play fast as well. Our average inside 50s is 56 to 52. 74 to 72% disposal efficiency. But goal efficiency, 23%, 12 goals from 52 inside 50s compared to 23%, 13 goals from 56 inside 50s. Average free kick counts is 19 apiece, right? Average stoppages averages is 40 to 39. Clearances is 40 to 35, so we've won that battle. 13 to 12 in the centre clearances, and stoppage clearances 26 to 23 as well. Now, they like to be sort of like an uncontested team. 131 to 126. But our uncontested possessions is 220 to 211. So we've done well in that. 61 to 60 turnovers, but 66 intercepts to 62 as well. Look, the power ratings, best 22 is 4,620. Predicted 22 is 4,554. Our best 22 is 4,620, but our predicted 22 is 4,928. Marks, 87 to 79, so keeping them under 80 marks is great. 14 to 11 marks inside 50. Contested marks 10 to 9, that's when they really like to do that. 61 to 58 in the average tackles. Tackles in the 450, 12 to 2. 96 in the bounces, so they can take the game on a little bit more. 1% is 46 to 43, and then 70 to 69 as well. I think for me is that we need to expose Fremantle with pace. And that's what I'm going to say in this video, is that we need to expose them pretty bad. I know that Black White United mentioned in his live stream that we need to expose Fremantle with pace, and I agree. I 100% agree with him on that. But we need to play a faster brand of football, right? And what we need to do is that we need to urge them into the ground. We need to block off the corridor like we've been doing, but also the fact is that we know that when we get momentum swings, our third quarter's been our best quarters. So that's been the difference. We've come out well in the first quarters, but our third quarter's been our best quarters for the season. That's when we've won the game. We need to start doing it here, where we can try and do that as much as we possibly can. What do we do with Brayshaw and Sarong? Look, I think we need to tag both of them, to be honest. Let's try and restrict them. We may go head-to-head, but I think one may go to Brayshaw, I feel like, because I don't think Brayshaw's that quick. Sarong is definitely quick with pace, but I think that's when you need a quicker pace as well. So whether we have Nick Dacos in there who can break away and really use that as well, it's pretty much on what we need to do. Is we need to stop both of them. We stop both of them, and that's how you win the game of footy. In a way that we need to go about it. So that, for me, is the concerning. That would be the best thing that's ever happened. I'm not going to lie. I did have a little bit concerns going into this game. I'm a lot more wary of Fremantle. But I know that they're inconsistent teams, so you don't know what Fremantle side is going to turn up. I think that you prepare yourself for the best Fremantle team. I think that we know they want to come out firing after last week's loss. I mean, they got absolutely hammered in the media, and I think they'll definitely respond. But now, let's jump straight into my top 5, shall we? Now, number 5, I think this is a thing that needs to be sorted out, is our defence. Now, I think our defence really needs to stand up really well. I think it's everywhere. Let's just tackle ferocious. Let's just put the pressure on the opposition as much as we possibly can. And let's just try and make sure that we do that with the intensity as well. We need to start doing that more often than not. And that's the only way how we go about it. So that's why I think is where we can get them as well. Number 4 is, to me, team selection. I think what we do I know that we're going to bring in Ed Allen and Lockie Sullivan and Markov, and I think Howe will definitely come back in. I don't know if we'll put Howe up forward. I think Membry may be second rock, but I like to see Billy Mason Cox as second rock with Darcy Cameron, and I like to see us expose Fremantle with height. Now, I know that Fremantle probably aren't the quickest when it comes with, aren't the tallest when it comes with height, right? So we know exactly what we're going to get. But we also need to make sure that with our matchups, is that we need to expose them, massively. I think Cox will definitely be on, Mason Cox will be on Brendan Cox. And I think Membry will be on Alex Pearce, I think. That probably be the way that we go about it. But then I wouldn't be surprised if we put Will Hoskin-Elliott up forward as well. And we leave Billy Frampton with that matchup as well. I think Billy Frampton will get Luke Jackson. So I think that would be the way that we go about it as well. To be honest, that's what I would do. But we'll just have to wait and see. Particularly for team selections. Number 4, I think... number 4, I did speak about that. Number 3, to me, is our pressure. Our pressure must be elite. I want to see it very high. I want us to expose Fremantle on the outside and expose them on the inside of the contest. And that's where we can do it, is through that particular... So that's probably the way that I see things as well. But we need to really start having our pressure really, really high on top of what we need to do as well. Number 2 is playing well for long enough and dealing with momentum swings. Now, we need to play 4 quarters against Fremantle. We can't afford to play 1 quarter against Fremantle. We need to really come out firing against Fremantle and expect them to come out. So if we get the first couple of goals in the game, we need to make sure that we take the crowd out of it so they can't get involved in the game. Once you take the home crowd out of it, it makes it so harder for them to try and get the team over the line. But we need to keep it going to with our momentum. We know that Fremantle will get momentum swings at some stage, but if they can kick 1 or 2 goals, we need to respond with that as much as we possibly can. And we really need to make sure that we put the scores on the board and we're attacking them at hard. So that's why I think we need to be smart in that to make sure that we do that. And number one is game plan and tactics. Look, I think we'll target Brayshaw. I think we'll tag him. And I think we'll go after Strong as well and really keep an eye on the midfield. But I think that if we need to hurt them with pace. And I think one thing that we need to do, there will be no Brady Maynard. But I feel like now we've got the ability to really hit pretty hard. So I'm thinking out of this matchup that when we've got Houston and Perryman, I think that's enough. Josh Dacus will go back in defence. We'll play in defence no matter what. So I definitely do think that we got coverage there. Despite we only losing 4 players that are really that crucial and that good for us, I'm not all that concerned a little. I'm concerned a little bit, but I'm not that much concerned. I'm really not. Like, again, we got Oleg Markov that will come in anyway. So it's definitely going to be the keys about it. But other than that, yeah, I'm looking at it and thinking, wow, we've definitely got a chance here. Now, tips for this game. Look, despite the outs, I still think that we got some senior players in there as well. I know that Patrick Ross will be back for his suspension as well, so that may make it probably a bit difficult, and they might try and stretch our defence a little bit on that. But apart from that, I'm really looking forward to on what we got as well. So look, I'm gonna back us in. I'll say Collingwood will win by 19 points. I think that will jump out hard. I think Fair will try and come back a little bit, but I will not be surprised if we smash them and we make it like if we attack them with the rosters and make sure that players will be fresh. I think that we'll look at try and keep the place fresh as possible as well. But I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to drop a like. Also drop a sub too. Until next time. Bye for now, guys.